Okay, I'm not sure why I hadn't already picked that up, but I'll take it. Hang on, but there's got to be a button for that. No, apparently not. Places of longing, Athens. Hang on. To understand what humanity is capable of, what it means to flourish, we have to look at the golden age of Athenian democracy. The list of geniuses who lived in Athens at this time is so long, it's almost inconceivable. Pericles, Sophocles, Aeschylus, I fucking have no idea how to pronounce that word. Aeschylus, Phidias, Euripides, Herodotus, Thucydides, the fucking names, Plato, I know that one, Socrates, Hippocrates, Aristophanes, Aristotle, the list goes on. These are the people who changed the world without history. Without them, there is no stratum of just noises, just John noises at this point. Stage E Ira to inspire Alexandra Drennan. Without them, we do not exist. Was it a perfect time? No, undoubtedly not. But the listing of flaws obscures the greater truth. Given the opportunity, given freedom and resources and space to grow, human beings are capable of incredible things. It will mean everything to me to walk the roads where these people once walked, to stand where they stood and think about the world as they dared to.
Whether it is true that Daedalus constructed the giant Talos, or as others say he was the creation of Hephaestus, what we may be certain of is that he was made of bronze and had but one vein, within which flowed a liquid substance like blood, which some claim was quicksilver, and others assert was ichor, such as flows in the veins of the gods. The loss of that liquid caused him to die, as a man dies when he loses his blood. May we not then say that Talos, though created as a machine or a toy, had all the essential properties of
Okay, we listened to this one already, but...
He moved of his own volition. He spoke and could be spoken to, had wishes and desires. Indeed, in the tale of the Argonauts, that was the cause of his downfall. If then a machine may have all the properties of a man...
A man have all the properties of a machine, yes. Where's the new one? How do we tell what's new? Because this is new on it. If what Prometheus revealed about the theory of everything is true, then it explains a lot of the patterns I've been finding. Almost every artificial structure on this island was printed into existence in some kind of energy-to-matter process. Or maybe by different versions of that process, some earlier, but less effective. I can only assume that the mega structure itself was created by bootstrapping, having one machine make a bigger one. Which probably means... Is that what bootstrapping means? Which probably means you could create a relatively small device that turns itself into a complete mega structure, or you could make a machine that just deploys more and more itself to build something, a city in a box. Depends on the power source, I guess. Or a Garden of Eden creation kit. Milestones. These things are connected to the Noema system. Maybe I should dig one up and see how it works. Okay. They have these question marks as well, so we'll go visit them. See how I'm not interacting with like the environment now that I have the system on. Vertical locomotion. I see. I'm not talking, am I? Right, there we go. Oh, that'll do. I'm so close. Lovely.
The founder has a remarkable gift for designing these trials. But then, she did have to overcome Elohim, whose very purpose was to design trials.
Indeed. Maybe she got his help. Glad my brain is working. I've said it before, I'll say it again as well. Every time I get stuck, I worry that next time I come in, I'm never going to be able to solve the puzzle. Doesn't matter how many puzzles I've solved, there's always a part of me that's just like, no, I'm just never going to be able to figure it out. Then it's always fine. Interesting. From Arkady Chernevsky's In Our Likeness, Essays on Humankind Reaching Adulthood, war is the crudest, most obscene human activity. It may justly be called an abomination, for it is the absolute negation of conscious human will. There is only a single cause of war for all the endless deceptions that are foisted upon us, that is the acquisition of resources. Varied ideologies are constructed to justify this crude behaviour, this childish degeneration of thought and communication, but history reveals the ruthless, unflattering truth. We imagine crusaders as fanatics of a cause, willing to die for their religion, yet the Fourth Crusade culminated not in the conquest of Jerusalem, but in the looting of Constantinople, setting the stage for the triumph of the very enemy of Crusaders claimed to oppose. Why? The answer is that with every war is the same. It is popular among the ghouls of establishment and their misanthropic friends in the intelligentsia to ascribe the persistence of war to human nature, but a careful observation of the facts reveals the opposite to be true. Individual human beings must be broken in order to submit to war, their minds distorted by ideology and their bodies by poverty and ruthless training to make them compliant. Without force, the majority of human beings only seek to protect themselves and are traumatized by the act of killing. And if it is resources that are the cause of war, then it is only the production and distribution of resources that an actual answer may be found. It is not enough to morally condemn war. We must work to prevent the material issues that endanger us all. Dear Founder, I'm afraid we're losing our humanity. We're angry at each other, always disagreeing about everything, unable to forgive each other for being different, and I don't know how much longer. I don't know what could save us. Please help us, Founder, please. No energy output contained, no errors. Oh, sorry, yes. Did we grab what we needed from here? Beloved Founder, know that I do not believe any of the lies the expedition is spreading about you. Is right, this Prometheus illusion is just a test. We will resist temptation as you once did. We will not disappoint. Praise your name. Was first published as Athena, a novel, and retained the title for its first three printings, now highly sought after. After a lull in popularity, it was reprinted as Athena Reborn, a novel. This edition retained the same text, but included some of the awful poetry. I added the word awful, it just seemed like it would fit. The next edition, however, published long after the author's death under the rather embarrassing title, Athena's Truth, included severe cuts and drastic changes to the text in the interest of updating it for the modern audiences, particularly affected the last chapter, Anthropogeny, which editors accused of scientism and human supremacy. Science wonderkind Alexander Drennan was one of the few that comes to the novel's defense, writing in a long essay that the novel's clear-eyed belief in the value of Athena's journey towards humanity had been essential to shaping her own views, encouraging her to pursue science as a vocation rather than a career, and changing the text constituted as an attack on the author's unique artistic philosophical vision. Alex, who hurt you? Lamio, one of the editors, commented on the popular science social media platform. Nadia and Sarapai of the Institute, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, sorry, for applied pneumatics, also got involved in the discussion, backing Drennan, resulting in a long but unsuccessful campaign to oust Sarapai from her position as head researcher. To a question mark, we shall go. Another triangle. Delta. Jailbreak. Seems complex. That's right, yeah, cool. He's the best. Just use your upper body strength. Alas, it was not to be. Where's blue? There's blue. Hmm. Damn it. Ivan, I know what to do. I need it to bounce back. I need it to bounce back. Fuck. Fuck. I need it. I'm almost done. I just need it to be going the other way. Fuck. It's really annoying. There we go. Oh. What are you doing, game? I can grab that. It's fine. Okay, no, I've just done it wrong. There we go. We live in a decaying system, which in turn produces ideology of decay to justify its existence. No matter what cultural signifiers they get packaged with, these ideologies come down to the same material result. A future in which the average person, there is less of everything. To paraphrase Mark Fisher, we find it easier to imagine a decline of civilization than it is to imagine a civilization worth living in. Was he talking about capitalism? For those of us who still believe that, yeah, it's easier to imagine the end of civilization than it is to imagine the death of capitalism. Yeah, capitalist realism. Why are they not using that word? Are they... So, alright. I was thinking about one of the previous things, the Alex Drennan quote, the one about vaguely talking about being cancelled, right? Which is about a sort of scientific textbook being inspired by a particular quote and other scientists being... But these things do happen. But also... So let's take an example. Roald Dahl. They re-release books taking out words from Roald Dahl's original word, like changing the meaning. And like it's like, oh... people who want to soften the book want to re-release it. What a bunch of bastards! But I love that, you know. But like, they didn't do shit. Publishers decided to do that on their own. They were like, they may have had sensitivity people like look into it, but it's not like a cabal of people decided that. Nobody was getting cancelled for saying they don't want Roald Dahl books to be changed. Nobody wants Roald Dahl books to be changed. They're from a different time. He was a flawed person. He was a massive prick. But like, people like his stories, right? And like nobody was calling for them to be censored. I don't know if that... I didn't really want to talk about it because I can be cowardly occasionally. But this is a game about philosophy, and I guess I should try and be as honest as possible. So I would agree. I wouldn't want... I don't know if Athena text is a real text or not. I wouldn't want it censored. What you want, we already have an ideal solution to this. We do this style with cartoons, which is you put a thing at the start saying, this is from a different time. And you might even have an extra voice saying, hey, we think this was inaccurate. Here's an obvious example, right? Pretty much every famous scientist would believe a bunch of bollocks because they're from olden times. Isaac Newton was obsessed with alchemy, you know, trying to make gold, and it's all nonsense. It didn't mean he didn't invent gravity. He figured out vitally important scientific principles, you cannot take away. He could be the biggest monster on the planet. He's not, thankfully, and nowhere near it. But the laws of motion are vitally important to our understanding of a lot of mathematical and scientific principles. But philosophy is subtly different, but of course, but Alexander Drennan was clearly a scientist. I don't know. I just don't know what perspective that was going for. I can mainly because I believe, generally speaking, that when it comes to sort of cancelling, there can occasionally be a sort of oversensitivity or overcorrection, let's say, of certain things. But I don't think that is anywhere near as big as a problem as the thing it's trying to solve in the first place. which is like, and the fact that like they paraphrased that, like, this game took a quote and paraphrased the word capitalism out of it for whatever reason, changing the meaning subtly, and somebody might have got in thinking that was an important quote, but now you've not said easier to imagine a civilization than imagine a civilization worth living in. You've paraphrased that thing to you see what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying they can. Is this on purpose? If it is, it's very clever. Then, if you know, they purposely changed the quote right next to a thing saying, "Hey, they changed the quote, and I didn't want you to change the quote." I'm assuming it's not on purpose, because paraphrasing this is kind of fine, right? The point isn't changed. It's just sort of interesting that they did, you know. Those of us who still believe in humanity can thrive. There's a path forwards other than willful or accidental decay are out of sync with the system. No matter how we phrase our arguments, they will be perceived in terms of whatever cultural signifiers the listener opposes. It's deeply frustrating and depressing, even infuriating situation, but what can we do except patiently explain and hope conditions change? In other words, what can we do except have faith? This was written only a few months before the discovery of the virus. There was no time for conditions to change. Yeah, but Athena, there was fucking loads of time for conditions to change. What are you talking about? The virus is but a symptom of all of history. Like, a worldwide virus, like a pandemic, which this game was built during, like, we could have prevented the pandemic. The fucking the president of America, like several presidents, like even George Bush, I think, fucking knew about the possibility of pandemics. Don't quote me on that. I might be confusing him for something else, but I know at least Obama knew about the possibilities of pandemic and set things in place. But I'm pretty sure there was more, like, in the 90s. We've known for a really long time that, like, because of how viruses work and how everything is connected, that we are susceptible to a thing if we don't have protections in place, and they were taken away. Like, systems were in place to prevent that, and they were like, there was fucking there is time for conditions to change. Anyway, I'm not saying I don't actually. The thing about these quotes, right, is they're all bite-sized quotes. So I don't know if the game doesn't have to. I'm assuming the game clearly does have a thesis, but also it's doing it on purpose. It's separating stuff, so it doesn't actually have to say anything. The individuals in the game say stuff, and you're supposed to go on what you want, right? So these are what my thoughts are regarding the quotes being thrown at me. And the Witness did the same thing, right? Where it had all these. The Witness aggressively had views that were incompatible with each other. Although some of those were infuriating to listen to, but still. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, Founding of New Jerusalem, Day 2. It's been a while since I last wrote an entry in the journal. Much has changed in New Jerusalem. We've put up a good chunk of the planned living quarters, and the old storage facility has been converted into a movie theatre, of all things, so we can still argue a lot, but it's mostly about the film which we'll be watching next. Other construction efforts are going well too, but we've begun to run out of readily available resources. Our scavenging expeditions are ranging further and further afield with each passing month, and sites that they have reported on are truly marvellous. One day I might go to see for myself. Because the whole point of this game, I understand, isn't to say this is the correct answer. It's to say these are all the philosophical viewpoints regarding civilization. What could you do? Like, pick and choose, right? Because my issue is always, it tends to be, hey, I think you've not thought this particular, like, I have views and I'm not sure they're represented here. it's one such view is always, sometimes you want to think about stuff, and maybe, you know, the game doesn't like me doing that. It likes me answering and go, no, there's only these options, you see. And maybe there are only those options, but by, and I don't know if the game could ever get past, by regimenting it like that, it does just aggressively say these are the only options, and maybe they're not, maybe they are. But it's kind of quantified them. It's there's a word that qualifies, not the word. Quantify is it's put capital letters in front of all the ideas, but like, what else is it going to do? It's a good thing in that regard that we'll be getting 2 new citizens soon, because everyone is as busy as ever. More hands to help us build for the future. Can't wait to meet them.
How is this supposed to work? The system is meant to last centuries. Centuries! And yeah, Chernyshevsky's plan, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But I'm working with hardware that was deliberately designed to fail. Planned obsolescence, baby. Selling broken garbage just to make another buck. A buck you can't even spend because in a few more weeks, we'll be extinct. Was it worth it? That's the part that Alexandra doesn't see. The greed, the stupidity, the selfishness, the way that we created this whole situation in the first place. She wants you to be like us, but if you ask me, there's a whole lot of human history and behavior you can just throw away, chuck it in the trash, right? You have a chance at a fresh start. Make the best of it.
So yeah, like, so Trevor exists to be some, you know, that line is cynical of Alexander Drennan. So like, I shouldn't take everything Alexander Drennan thinks is gospel, and you could argue that I shouldn't take everything this game says as gospel either. Like, if I want to be as generous as possible to this game, why not? I've got no reason not to be as generous as possible to this game.
The reason I have always admired Alexandra Drennan is that even in death, she fought to see the world as it is, not as she wanted to see it. I say fought because I believe this is not an easy matter.
Does that not disagree with what Trevor just said?
Mental and spiritual struggle that we must undertake with great seriousness, even when we are joking. The ancients believed that for most of us, the world is a shadow cast by a flame, dimly seen on the wall of a cave. Our task is not to interpret these shapes, but to free ourselves from the cave itself.
Plato's cave, yes. So did I even look at this? Because there's a red laser, there's one of those things. Oh yeah, I did, yeah. I was pressing the wrong button. Well, the start, there isn't much choice. There is choice, John. Well, that one was easy. Ah. Now, I was working off knowledge before and I knew I'd broken it on the last trip. Even though it was like 30 days ago, I remembered that. I guess it was the last thing I did though, where I put it there and I broke a puzzle. So I knew to do that bit first. Right, let's go to the tower. Oh, I see it. Does it not work if I don't connect it properly? So that has to be true.
This is the last time we will speak, creature of clay.
Oh no.
Together, we have told the stories of ancient gods and heroes. But the golden ages of the past are distant. The gods have retreated to their high places, and there are no heroes amongst men. In days gone by, I was renowned for my riddles. But you, creature of clay, are a riddle without an answer.
I don't need an answer. Existence is enough.
Let us hope that it is. Farewell, creature of clay. Remember my stories, and do not let the flame burn you.
Big laser. Pew.
That is an unsettling amount of energy. I would hate to see what would happen if one of those beams was aimed at something else.
Yes, that would be disconcerting. Big laser. Shit. I fell. I fell. I'm fine. No, I'm fine. To the monorail. We'll have a tiny little preview of the next area, and then I'll let you go. See what the theme is. Ooh, I didn't realize I was so far in the game. Let's travel west.
The next area you're going to is... honestly, it's better if you see for yourself.
Wow. What could that possibly mean? Oh. It's the Statue Valley. Right, let's have a quick look at puzzle number 1. See what the gimmick is, if there is one. Hello, spooky face. Universal activation. It's an... Ah! Okay. Cool. Don't want to do too much of that because I'll solve it. We don't want to solve it just yet. But, I mean, that's the gimmick. I don't really need to see anymore, do I? Okay, so one of the things... Okay, there's a blue line there. That's kind of subtle, won't lie. Yeah, is that coming from that, though? Yeah, the blue line's coming from these things. What's controlling the doors? Because that will open it, won't it? Right, let's go back to the monorail. I'm going to let you go. I'm happy with that. That means... So, I've got this thing called Project 99. You can see it there. Here even. Where I nominate a game for... I play 99 games in a row. Although I took a 3-month break halfway through. You know... It's so I play games that I've been meaning to play, games that I'm already playing, and games that people recommend to me that I don't quite feel like playing. You know, like, it's just an excuse to do lots of things. And I hadn't put... Talos is like a really obvious choice for an early one, but I just didn't want to start it. Oh, look, there's like even a picture of a dude in that picture there. I didn't want to start it until I was like at a starting position, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna... Oh, there is no save. So we're gonna let you go. I'm also gonna say thank you very much for watching, of course. But I'm Johnstruct. I'm a Talos Principal Adventure. See you next time.